kids and adults, it is time for crafts, and we're going to talk about art today. I'm going to show you some different things, and we're going to have a conversation about what art is. So I'm going to start by showing you some of my favorite art, and to begin with, I'm going to show you one that I love and have always loved, and this is by an artist you might have seen or heard from before, Becky Keeney. That's right, this is one of Mom's amazing paintings. And it's actually my favorite of hers and one of my favorite pieces of art in general. I'm trying to show it to you in a way that you can see it, where I'm not blocking you too much. Hopefully there you can see it. Now, one thing about Becky's art is she is what you call an abstract impressionist. And what an abstract impressionist means is that they see things in their mind and they put them straight on to the canvas. They have a sense of what the world looks like, and if you kind of look up close, you see beautiful skies that change and some detail like that, but a lot of it is really your imagination kind of comes to play. Now, another painting I really love is by a man named Frederick Edwin Church, and I might have shown you this before at times. This is called Twilight in the Wilderness, and he has a very different style. He does very detailed work. And I'll link you to seeing some of that maybe online as well. So there's different types of art. Let me show you a way of thinking of this, not just in paintings, in pottery as well. So this is a piece I did. Some of you know who this is. That's Owen, you're right. This is a piece about Owen. This is what we call hand pottery. I sculpted this by hand with a plan in mind. You can even see he has a little hole in his nose as well as holes in the bottom because his weight needed a place to go after he'd been fired. I knew what color he was going to be from the beginning because I know what color the dog is. And I did that all by hand with very clear intent. Now here's another piece of pottery that I did that's very different. This is a bowl. I knew I was going to make a bowl on the wheel, but I didn't know what that bowl would look like or what color it was going to be. So just like art, we saw two different types. One with very abstract impressionists. That's a way of thinking that you didn't have a plan, she didn't map it out ahead of time. Or you have Frederick Edwin Church, who does very detailed work and clearly knew exactly where that layout was going to be. Now, I'll show you another one when I was about your age that I did, for some of you who are younger watching this. And this one's very detailed. This is a painting about the different styles of art that you could do thinking about different types of art, okay? Now, today, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reverse you. And actually, by reversing you, I will show you those paintings a little better. I'm sorry. That's that one by Becky. Forgot I could do this part. And here's that one I just did. And let's switch over here and show you Frederick Edwin Church, okay? So what we're going to talk about today, though, is how to really start to think about art. Because how do you get right to that? How do you see an empty canvas? Now, if you're thinking of, you're like, I don't have any canvases at home. You know what's also a great canvas? Paper. Paper can be just like a painting. And I actually like to start that way. So let me show you what I mean. So I am working on some new canvases. You can see them out here, right? And I'm going to talk to you about them in a minute. But I knew that I had to start somewhere because I am not an abstract impressionist. So I took some paper and started sketching. Now I want to show you something. Look, I had some that I threw away. Sketches that I'm like, oh, I don't even know what this one is. We'll see how it looks. See, I was like, oh, that's not how I want it to look. Or, oh, I know I want an ascension, but I don't want it to look like that. Or sometimes you just do start it and you're like, well, that's not what it is so much. I know it's a little bright out here, so you may not have seen it. But my point is, the point I'm making is that sometimes art isn't automatically what you want it to be. It doesn't just come to your mind and you know. Sometimes you have to kind of work it out. So here, for example, is a piece. Let's see, switch. Here's a piece we're going to look at today. So I sketched out a very basic sketch of what I want Pentecost to look like. See, there's the Holy Spirit coming in, and there's people standing around. I'm going to add some animals even, and I've got a verse, and I know that I want green at the bottom. Kind of sketched out the colors. Now you can go ahead and color this after you've sketched it out. Or some people like to sketch out on canvases. That's how I tend to do painting. So like there's Jesus there, and he's going to hold a candle, and there's going to be a path, and it's going to come down. Now, that's not exactly the sketch I had to begin with, I had one that was similar, but I thought maybe I'd have Jesus the whole way down. It looked like this. See? Very different a little bit when you think about it than that, but the same idea. And now once I've got it on canvas, I can kind of work around the lines and think about where I'm going. Now sometimes you do just a broad sketch on a canvas, or sometimes you really kind of map it out. Sometimes you change your idea once you have it. And you can even do that on canvases too, okay? So I'm gonna take one that I've done really detailed to the point where I know it's going. So here's one right here, and it's based on a Mexican style of art called the Sacred Heart. And it also has symbols of the dove, and you'll see a little more once I get these done, you'll understand where it's going. But I want you to see how you can get very detailed on canvas as well, or on paper. If you're doing these on paper, you can get really detailed, or you can go and be more relaxed. So thinking about how you do your art really is what you want it to do. So let's go ahead and try to take a sketch design. So I'm going to do the one design, I just had it, and then of course I move my stuff around, so give me a second, kiddos and adults. All right. It's the one, oh, there.